Alright, hey guys, today the topic of interest is how to change the way you feel. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you the 3 patterns or the 3 things that control and dictate the emotions we experience on a habitual basis. And if we change any one of these 3 things, we'll dramatically change the emotions that we experience. But what I want you guys to first understand is that the emotions you habitually experience are a result of a pattern of something that you're doing. So the average person only experiences no more than 12 emotions a week. So 12 at most. Now when you think about the number 12, 12 is not a big number considering that the hundreds of different emotions that you could be experiencing will only experience on average 12 of them at most. So that tells us that there's a habit, there's something that we're habitually doing that's giving us access to only this small array of emotions. So if we change the habits we're doing, if we change the patterns that we're running, we change the emotions that we experience, okay? Now what the 3 patterns that control or dictate the emotions that we experience are this. The first emotion or the first pattern is this, the pattern of what you focus on. The second pattern is the pattern of how you move your body. The third pattern is the pattern of what you habitually say to yourself, the phrases and words that you use. If you change any one of these 3 things, you change how you feel, okay? So the first pattern is this, is what you focus on. Now what you must understand is what you focus on is what you're going to feel, regardless of whether what you're focusing on is real or not. So think about this. Hasn't there ever been a time when you thought somebody had wronged you, you thought that somebody had ill will or purposely tried to hurt you, and then you got offended, you got hurt, you got resentful, you got upset, only for you to later down the line to find out that that person never even did the thing that you thought they had done, or they never even had the bad or ill intentions to try purposely hurt you? I bet when you found out, you probably felt a little bit silly, you maybe felt a little bit embarrassed, maybe you felt a little bit bad, for judging them and being so harsh in your mind about how they treated you. Right? The thing is, in that period before you found out that they hadn't really even done that thing, you felt those emotions as though they had already done the thing that you thought they had done, right? Because you focused on it. So what you focus on is what you're going to feel. If you focus on what's wrong in the world, you're going to feel as if the world's a terrible place. If you focus on what's good, you're going to feel like the world's a great place, right? Perspective just by what you're focusing on. Okay, so how do we change what we focus on? How do we change it? So we change what we focus on by questions, by asking better questions. Right, it's the questions that we habitually ask ourselves that direct our attention, that direct what we see. Because when you think about it, when you think about thought, what is thought? All thought is just answering and asking questions. That's all it is, thinking. You're just asking yourself a question and then you answer it. Okay? And a lot of us ask ourselves poor questions. We habitually ask ourselves terrible questions that lead to terrible answers, that direct our focus in a way that's going to cause us pain. So think about this. Some of us have a habitual question of something like this. We ask ourselves, what is wrong with me? Why do bad things always have to happen to me? Right? Why am I so fat? You know what? Why am I so stupid? Why am I so clumsy? Why can't I break this habit? You're asking yourself all these poor questions. And the thing is this, when you ask yourself a poor question or a bad question, you get a bad answer. Because your brain is designed to answer the questions that you give it, right? Your brain isn't designed to make you happy. It's designed to compute. It's designed to help you survive and answer the questions that you ask it. So if you ask yourself a bad question such as, why am I so fat? Your brain will probably give you an answer of, you're a pig. You know what I'm saying? You're undisciplined, right? It's giving you a terrible answer. And because you're getting a terrible answer, it's going to make you feel bad, right? Or you ask yourself, why do bad things always have to happen to me? Your brain could give you an answer. It's because you're cursed and because you're stupid, right? That answer isn't going to make you feel good, right? If you ask yourself a better question, you'll get a better answer and you feel more empowered to change the aspects of your life that you can change. Just think about this. Rather than asking the question, why am I so fat? A question you can ask yourself is, what can I do now to make myself feel more healthier? What can I do now to lose some weight? What can I do now that will allow me to lose weight and have a good time while doing it? See, that a better question is going to give you a better answer. When you ask that type of question, you're going to get a solution that's going to make you feel empowered to make the change rather than cripple you. So if you ask yourself better questions, you get better answers. So you have to now learn to become aware of the question you habitually ask yourself. So if you're consistently feeling frustrated, you're feeling angry, you're feeling resentful, you realize there's a certain question that you're asking yourself over and over again. Right, so become aware of that and change that question. Because if you change that question, you change your focus. You change your focus, you change how you feel. Okay? So that's the first pattern. Change what you focus on. The second pattern that you want to change is change the way you move your bodies. The way you move your body also largely determines how you feel. So think about this. Emotion follows motion. Right? The emotions that you feel follow the motion that you're moving. So how can you tell, like, when somebody's sad? How can you tell that somebody's down? Normally you can tell by the way they're moving the body. You can tell just by looking at them, right? So you can go to your friend and maybe they're down and you say, hey, what's wrong? And they'll tell you, I'm fine, right? But you won't believe him. The reason you don't believe him is because their body is saying something else. So how do you know, right? Because their shoulders are down, right? Their head is down. Their speech is slower and softer, right? Yeah, their breathing is more shallow. You see it. It manifests in the body. The emotions that you're feeling manifest in the body just by the way you're moving your body. And if you change the way you move your body, you change how you feel. Now, there's a study done on people who were clinically depressed. So these are the people who are like, bam, you know, they are really in it. They're having a hard time, kind of thing. And what they did in this study was they took them for 4 weeks. They got the people to stand in front of a 3-sided mirror and smile for 20 minutes. Smiling to the point, smiling so brightly to the point that they had like, you know, the crow's feet popping up at the side of the eyes, right? Smiling that much, 20 minutes a day for 4 weeks. At the end of the 4 weeks, all the people who were clinically depressed in that study came off the medication that they were on, because they were all on medication for depression. All of them came off the medication and all of them reported that they were feeling so much better, right? Just by going into the mirror and smiling brightly, like till the wrinkles show up, for 20 minutes a day. Just by changing your physiology, just smiling, you know, standing up straight, breathing differently, 20 minutes a day. Just that one pattern changed all that. Even a lady who claimed that she was depressed in her sleep said that she felt so much better. She came off the medication, right? And that's just one pattern. So imagine if you changed all three, but that's just one. Okay, so the way you move your body largely determines the way you feel. So you want to learn to do that. Become aware of how you're moving your body. So if you're down, become aware of it. Look at the way your posture is. Look at your posture and then dramatically change it. But you want it to be a radical shift, completely different. A radical shift will make it much more empowering, which is why exercise is so important. Okay, that's the second pattern. The third pattern is the words that you habitually use. Now what you must find out, what you must realize is that the words that we use have an emotional effect on us. There's certain words that people use that trigger you. There's certain words that put you into an unresourceful state that upset you. So become aware of them. So think about it. Like, let's say you and I were having an argument or having a debate, shall we say, and I thought you were wrong and I was right. If I came to you and I said, you are wrong, wouldn't that feel different to me saying that, no, you're mistaken? See that? Just by changing the word I use right there, it changed the way that you would respond or emotionally respond to the word I used to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like changing the words that you use. So some of us, when we're in a bad state, we use certain words like, you know, I am livid, or, you know, I am so angry, or I am depressed, or I am frustrated. We're using these strong emotional words. But if we change those words, we dramatically reduce the intensity of the emotions we're feeling. So rather than saying, I am livid, you can say something like, I'm a little bit peeved right now. You know what I'm saying? You're pretty much saying the same thing. You're displaying the same emotion, but you're using a different word. So it doesn't evoke so much strong emotion. So rather than saying, you know, I'm really frustrated, I feel a little bit challenged right now. You know what I'm saying? Changing the words that you use. You find that there's certain phrases that you habitually use when you're really in a strong emotional state. When you're saying it with so much emotion, you actually start believing it. So become aware of the words you use and choose different words, right? So Google up synonyms for different words and use them when you find that you experience different emotions. So if you change any one of these 3 patterns that I've shared with you, you change how you feel. So you at least neutralize the emotion that you're feeling. You go back to a neutral state. But if you change all 3, you will feel completely different. If you completely change what you're focusing on by asking a better question, you change the way you're moving your body, and you change the phrases that you're using, you'll feel completely different, radically. I guarantee you that. So give it a go, guys. If you need help or you need one-to-one coaching, contact me on Instagram and we can make it happen, okay? So you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.